Yep, the rust went from bad to worse. As soon as I removed the splash shield and the tubes, everything up there was disintegrating. It was actually this color and texture all the way across. I just started pecking at it with a hammer. It had some kind of boils like this, similar to this. Started pecking on it and it just started breaking up and falling through. This is all the rust that fell out, plus some of the sound and rubberized undercoating that was in the wheel well. So I'm just chasing this back, trying to get up underneath here and see. Well, I mean, there's no point, really, honestly, at this point. I'm gonna have to take the entire rear quarter. The rest of the car is actually in really good shape. It's just this, passenger side rear. The whole quarter is just knackered. I mean, there's no other term. It's just wore out. The only part that caught me off guard initially, and this is gonna be an easy fix, is this right here at the front of the A-pillar, down at the bottom of the door jamb, right in the rocker. And that's gonna be an easy fix, but I need to get hold of that lower portion. So hopefully, JJ, if you're watching this, hopefully you have something that I can use, and don't mind cutting it out and shipping it, because yeah, I need it. I need it pretty bad. Undercoating. So from the horns all the way back, 3/4 of that took me 24 hours. And then I used a wire wheel on the angle grinder and just suited up. I'm in a hazmat suit, basically. It's a Tyvek painter suit with the hood. And then I have a full face shield with a respirator attached to it. And I just started grinding away. And this entire area where the gas tank is up to here, and then this part of this half of the spare tire wheel area took maybe 2.5 hours. So that 24 and that 2.5. So I'm about 26, 27 hours into it now. And tonight, it's been about 2 hours just seeing how bad the rust is, getting in here, getting the parts out, and investigating. They were nice enough, let me throw some light in here. They were nice enough to Bondo in. That's green, that green stuff is Bondo. They Bondoed in. So yeah, I just started chipping away at that. That's, yeah, the entire thing's, it's foobar. I gotta basically cut it all out. And it's like a 5-layer sandwich. It's an onion peel, right? You gotta peel this layer to get to this layer, to get to this layer. And that's 3 layers. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. You've got the rear outer. You've got the rear inner that goes up. So if you see that seam right there, there's a seam. So this is the outer inner, and then there's a part inside the trunk that butts up to. So everything it all ties together, right? So I gotta just start cutting, and I don't even know if I want to cut sections or just literally take out entire sections, like cut off this entire panel. I mean, I've got the entire thing right there, so it's just a matter of getting to it. So I'm gonna have to find some way of, I'm gonna have to part this out, panel by panel, find all the individual pinch welds, grind them off, and try to salvage everything I can to put it on here. But it's coming along. It's just, that was really disheartening today when I got up underneath there and I removed this splash shield, and I could see the bubbles, and as soon as I started pecking at it, it just started disintegrating. That's inside. Let me just get this light situated for you guys. That right there is inside the cabin. In fact, the seatbelt harness is right there. I don't know if you can see that through the hole. That's the bottom of the seatbelt tower. So the seatbelt tower comes in and ties in right specifically here. So this right here is a very critical area. And the fact that I've got rust here, up and around, all through, it's Swiss cheese. So for structural integrity, the main bits, the frame rails, right, the rockers, this frame rail, really good shape. All the main structural elements are very good shape. It's just this right rear quarter is just Swiss cheese. Yep. Oh well, I think 5 minutes is enough to cover that monstrosity. A little dejected this afternoon after finding this. Or not this afternoon, this evening. But I'm gonna stop pecking. I'm literally gonna have to cut the whole thing out. So I think what I'll probably do is, well, the car's gonna have to come down and come off the rotisserie for this because parts that I need to cut out go through this mounting point. So I'm probably gonna, you know, you've seen the spare piece. It comes back past the tail light. All right. So in order for me to cut that out, obviously it needs to come off the rotisserie, but I need to get it on the frame rails, but it's gonna come to about here. But I want to take and drill out all these spot welds, separate the panels and have this panel separate from this panel, right? Separate from, and it gets complicated because the drip rail here where the top is attached, that bead is a double lap joint. So it's gonna get, it's a lot of work. Luckily the B pillar is very sound, so is the A pillar. So again, like I said, structurally she's sound, except for this portion of the rocker. So I'm probably gonna cut exactly where this one, see this hole here? And you get this step down, and then the hole, the cut on this panel is right there. There's the hole, and there's the step down. So I have everything I need to remediate the entire problem. And I think that cost me like $100, $125, maybe 150, I can't remember. One thing I do need to do is I need to get in here and see how that is right there with the holes. They just went ahead and decided, oh, I want to pretty it up, and they bondoed it in. I can't get the thing out. So I'm gonna have to chip away at that first just to get this out of the way, and then I can start deconstructing. So that's what I was doing here. I was chasing this, looking for pinch welds, seeing how this is attached in, because this strut tower support has to come out in order for me to replace it because of this giant hole here. But this comes out, and then this inner shell, and then this outer shell, and then the outer skin, like, yeah, it's a process. It's like an onion. You start peeling back layers and you find more shit that's wrong with it. So luckily it's isolated to this one area. Like I said, down to bare metal, everywhere else it looks great. Very, very minimal rust spots here and there, surface rust. But yeah, I mean, kudos to the Harbor Freight surface conditioner. Does a great job stripping paint down to bare metal without removing metal. And it roughs it up nicely. Like that'll take primer nicely. So get some sealer primer on there. But I'm gonna get everything down to this condition and then reseal everything from scratch. So yeah, it's coming down to bare metal. Might as well do the whole thing. This is not gonna be a few months. This is probably gonna be a 2-year project at this point. I just, 2 hours every evening, couple, maybe 4, 5, 6 hours on a Saturday or a Sunday. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Keep an eye out for the next update. Subscribe if you like what you're seeing and you want to be updated on this project. I'm probably gonna have to pivot to back to the van to get ready for summer vacation once again. But that's a future Trevor problem, about a month and a half, 2 months out. So I'll probably pivot in April, which gives me another month and a half on this. We'll see how far I can get on the on these panels. Honestly, I'm not going to bother stripping this exterior paint just because the whole panel's getting grafted on. I will strip paint where I need to weld, and that's it. And yeah, so I think the first order of business is to probably get this outer skin off, and then go from there and see just how hard it is to remove, and how it attaches, where it attaches. So that's all I got. Later.